Blog title: A Dying President. The Anatomy of a Lie. You're listening to Morning Coffee Thoughts. This is an AI-narrated reading of one of our latest commentaries. Whether you're on the road, doing chores, or just winding down, this one's for you. Let's get into it. Section 1. Introduction. I've been ignoring this issue since it started. I knew it was fake news just by looking at the personalities and pages amplifying it. But last night, my wife said she received a call from an educated former colleague asking when Sara Duterte's oath-taking would be, because apparently, her TikTok feed was suggesting that Marcos had died. That's when I realized how bad the situation was, and it also explains why the PCO reacted the way it did. So, I investigated. Here's what I found. A medical report circulated on Facebook sometime in late January 2026. It looked official. St. Luke's letterhead. A real doctor's name, a long list of diagnoses: perforated diverticulitis, colonic obstruction, absent left kidney, atherosclerotic disease. It read like a patient dying in slow motion. Then St. Luke said, "We never issued this." That document is the whole story. Everything else, the colon cancer rumors, the AI-generated newscasters, the former palace spokesman posting from hiding, the photojournalists forced to defend their own bylines, the vice president's two-word response, traces back to that one fabricated piece of paper. Section 2. It started with something real. On the night of January 21, 2026, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. was rushed to St. Luke's Medical Center in Quezon City for abdominal discomfort. Press officer Claire Castro disclosed it the next morning. The diagnosis when it came out: diverticulitis, inflammation of small pouches in the colon. Common, manageable, not life-threatening. Marcos himself recorded a video message on January 2022. According to the Philippine news agency, he told the public directly, "The rumors of my death are highly exaggerated." He was discharged in days. The palace disclosed this imperfectly and with some delay, but it was disclosed. What happened next was not a natural extension of public curiosity. Section 3. The document. 6 days after Marcos left St. Luke's, a fake medical document began spreading on Facebook. The fabricated CT scan report named Dr. Juliet Gopez Cervantes, a real St. Luke's gastroenterologist, as the requesting physician. According to a Vera Files fact check, the listed diagnoses were specific enough to sound clinical: severe sigmoid diverticulitis with perforation and extensive mesenteric phlegmon, colonic obstruction, atherosclerotic vascular disease, osteoporosis, absent left kidney, mild hepatomegaly. It was designed to reframe a manageable illness as a surgical emergency, a president on the edge of the operating table. Luke's issued a public advisory on January 28. Per the hospital's own statement, the document was fake and falsified. It does not publicly disclose patient records, and the document was not theirs. The Presidential Communications Office, or PCO, condemned it as fabricated and malicious. By then, it was already everywhere. Section 4. Who pushed it? Jay Sonza, a former broadcaster with a Meta-verified Facebook account, posted the CT scan on January 28 and 29 alongside photos of Marcos. According to Philstar, he called for transparency about the president's fitness for duty and alleged a deterioration in his health. It is worth noting that Sonza posted this content. The National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, and the courts will determine what that means legally. K. Eric Selles, a YouTuber with millions of combined views, amplified the claims through YouTube videos questioning Marcos' capacity to govern, according to NBI records cited in GMA Network's coverage. Columnist Bobby Tiglau also shared the document. St. Luke's was moved to directly rebut his post specifically. Then there's Jack Argota. When the NBI summoned him in February, he appeared and admitted the medical certificate was fake. Per Inquirer's reporting, his explanation: nothing, just trying to keep up with the trend. Engagement, you know? That quote is either the most honest thing said in this entire saga or the most insulting. Take your pick. Because here's what engagement, you know, actually means. A man with a public platform, an audience that trusts him, and access to Google, looked at a medical document he could not verify, decided not to verify it, and posted it anyway because it was getting clicks. A deliberate choice. The responsible thing, the obvious thing, the thing any person with a functioning conscience does, before amplifying a claim about a sitting president's health is to pause, to ask, where did this come from? Who made it? Does this match anything a credible outlet has reported? Is the name on this document real? Is the date correct? Argota found the wrong birth date only after he'd already posted it, meaning he eventually looked. He just looked too late, or looked only when he had to. There's a word for posting first and checking later when the subject is a fabricated medical document. Reckless. And reckless with a platform is not a neutral act. Every share is a vote for the lie's credibility. Every comment section it seeds is another node in the network. I just posted what was trending is not a defense. It's a confession that you outsourced your judgment to an algorithm and called it content creation. The most charitable reading of Argota is that he is exactly what the disinformation ecosystem needs most. Someone willing to amplify without thinking, as long as the numbers are good. The least charitable reading is that he knew exactly what he was doing, and the engagement line was the cleanest exit he could find when the NBI came knocking. Either way, he knew what he was sharing. He just decided the numbers were worth it. On February 16, 2026, the NBI filed cyber libel charges against Sansa and Celis before the Department of Justice. Argota appeared before the NBI in February and was formally charged in March. As of writing, who created the original document remains unknown. The NBI identified uploaders. The fabricator has not been publicly named. Section 5. They also went after the press. While the fake document was still spreading, someone identifying as Naman S. Puri, a name that could not be independently verified, sent an email and Viber message directly to members of the Malacanan Press Corps. Per Manila Bulletin's reporting, the message claimed the president's condition has deteriorated severely due to drug use and that a cyst had formed. It was a seeding attempt. Get the claim into the inboxes of the journalists the public trusts to verify and see if any of it gets amplified. It didn't work, but it tells you the operation was targeting press credibility from the very beginning, not just public feeds. Section 6. The colon cancer wave. As the fake document faded, a second wave launched. Claims that Marcos had colon cancer and was secretly wearing a colostomy bag. The primary amplifier, based on multiple news reports, was Harry Roque, the former palace spokesman who has spent months abroad after going into hiding over a separate arrest order, and who now orbits Rodrigo Duterte's defense in the International Criminal Court drug war case. From wherever he is, Roque posted on social media, pointing to a supposed bulge near Marcos' stomach, visible in a public appearance video in Pasay City, suggesting it was a colostomy bag. According to Philstar, Claire Castro called him a fake news peddler. She said the full unedited video showed Marcos raising his hands to wave at citizens. The bulge was a misread of the footage. Malacanan's formal response: blatant lie and a mere distraction. The first lie did the second lie's work for it. Section 7. This isn't new. This is the playbook. To understand what happened here, you have to resist reducing it to its most convenient explanation. DDS loyalists, or die-hard Duterte supporters, spreading lies to put Sara Duterte in Malacanan. The DDS angle is real, but it's the surface of a deeper structure. The Philippines has been called the patient zero of the post-truth era, a label scholars and researchers have applied to the country since the 2016 elections, and one that Maria Ressa of Rappler first used publicly to describe what she was watching happen in real time. The Oxford Internet Institute documented coordinated Philippine troll farms as early as 2017. The pattern they found was about systematically dismantling trust in institutions: the press, the opposition, the medical establishment, the courts. That infrastructure didn't disappear after Duterte left office. It evolved. An academic study published in 2025 by UP political scientists Aries Aruge and Maria Elise Mendoza, cited in an Oxford University Press volume on digital autocratization and Philippine elections, found that the 2022 Marcos Jr. campaign inherited and expanded the same playbook. Disinformation wasn't just a tactic, it was architectural. It shaped what Filipinos believed was real before any election was held. What we're seeing now is that same architecture, deployed not to win an election, but to accelerate a succession. Research published in a peer-reviewed journal indexed by the National Institutes of Health in 2024 found that disinformation increases what researchers call autocratization onset. The mechanism is indirect. You don't need to topple a government. You just need to deepen polarization, erode trust in verification, and make the public feel that no institution can be believed. Drawing on data from 148 countries between 2020-2022, the study found that democracies with higher levels of disinformation were measurably more likely to begin sliding toward autocracy, not through coups, but through the gradual collapse of shared reality. That's the real operation here. The fake document was designed to make people distrust his doctors, his hospital, his press officers, and eventually the journalists covering him. The colon cancer rumor was designed to survive denial, keep the wound open long after the original lie was debunked. The Guanzon Manunumpa paraphrase was designed to make a real person's real words do the work of a lie she never told. Massachusetts Institute of Technology political psychologist Adam Berinsky's research on the Obama-era death panel's rumor found that health-related political rumors are uniquely resistant to correction precisely because they are emotionally resonant rather than factually structured. People don't believe them because they verified them. They believe them because the rumors confirm a pre-existing anxiety. In the Philippines in 2026, that anxiety is, the government is hiding something. 3 months of fake news didn't create that anxiety. It fed it. Jack Argota wasn't paid to post the fake CT scan. He did it for engagement. What a Reuters analysis found, studying pro-Duterte accounts around the time of Rodrigo Duterte's ICC arrest, was that a significant portion of online conversations about Philippine political flashpoints are driven by bots, sock puppets, and paid influencers. But the organic sharers, the real people who amplify without being paid, are often more powerful than the network itself. That's the infrastructure working as designed. Create something believable enough that opportunists finish the job for free. What makes this dangerous is the ecosystem the lie travels through, one that was built over a decade, funded by political machines, and now runs partially on its own momentum. There is one more layer worth sitting with. The disinformation machine now targeting Marcos did not come from nothing. Researchers at the Oxford Internet Institute and fact-checkers at Vera Files documented how the 2022 Marcos campaign itself ran coordinated networks that spread historical revisionism about martial law, suppressed inconvenient truths, and operated in the same troll farm ecosystem Duterte's camp built and normalized 6 years earlier. Marcos benefited from a political culture that decided truth was negotiable. He is now living inside that decision. The machine that helped put him in Malacanan has no permanent loyalties, only permanent tactics. And those tactics, it turns out, work just as well against a sitting president as they do for one. Section 8. The government wakes up, slowly. Here's the part worth pausing on. The Philippines has been drowning in disinformation for years. Troll farms, coordinated inauthentic behavior, fake news ecosystems so entrenched they helped shape 2 presidential elections, and for years, the institutional response was scattered, reactive, underfunded. What finally pushed the government to build something formal was not the countless past lies about elections or activists, but a fake medical document about one man. On March 4, 2026, more than a month after the fake CT scan went viral, the PCO signed a Memorandum of Understanding with 9 leading newspapers on disinformation. On March 13, they formally launched Oplan Contra Fake News. The PCO's anti-fake news desk, established earlier in March as part of this broader drive against disinformation, became the government's official unit for tracking and filing complaints. According to the PCO, the desk was set up to give the government legal standing to move quickly against fake news peddlers. In theory, that's exactly what the country needs. In practice, meaningful action only came after the lie hit Malacanan. The millions of ordinary Filipinos victimized by health misinformation, election fraud narratives, red tagging, and coordinated harassment campaigns before this, that apparently wasn't quite enough urgency. But when the presidency itself became the target, the machinery moved. To be fair, the desk did work once built. On April 7, it filed its first cyber libel complaint against the AI newscast page Mal News Pilipinas. It was tracking the April surge in near real time. The infrastructure once built functioned, but the irony stands. Section 9, Pwedeng Mapaaga on 2028. Former Commission on Elections Commissioner Rowena Guanzon posted on social media calling for tighter security for VP Sara Duterte. The phrase that went viral, "Ingatan si VP Sara, lalo na't anytime ay bigla na lang yan maninumpa." And separately, Pwedeng mapaaga ang 2028. Based on multiple reports, what Guanzon meant, the political climate is volatile, anything can happen, and Sarah's security needs tightening because circumstances could change before 2028. She was reading the political weather and saying so out loud. What people heard, an insider confirming what the fake document had already implied. No single mainstream outlet published her verbatim text. Multiple paraphrased versions competed on Facebook. The most alarming version won. The paraphrase, Protektahan si Sarah, manunumpanayan, spread wider than anything Guanzon actually said. This is how sophisticated disinformation works. It doesn't need everyone to lie. It just needs real people to say real things in a way that rhymes with the lie. Section 10. By the first week of April 2026, the PCO's anti-fake news desk detected what it described, per Inquirer's reporting, as a sudden and coordinated surge of health-related disinformation. The timing wasn't random. The country was in the middle of a declared energy emergency, and the government was already managing public anxiety about brownouts. A Facebook page called Mal News Pilipinas was spreading video reels featuring AI-generated newscasters delivering false information, fake nationwide brownout announcements, false emergency lockdowns, and content about Marcos' supposed illness. The newscasters looked real. The graphics looked official. None of it was. The PCO filed its first cyber libel complaint against the page on April 7. The administrators have not been publicly identified. Meanwhile, after Marcos appeared at the 84th anniversary of Arang Kagintingan in Bataan on April 9, social media users flooded the comments of major news pages, claiming the photos were old. According to a Philstar fact-check, a Facebook account with over 152,000 followers spread a reel with 14,000 views, making this claim. Fact-checkers confirmed the images were taken that day, with journalists, diplomats, military, and veterans present. It was a sweep. UP journalism professor Danilo Arao, cited by ABS-CBN, pushed back on the palace's framing. He said it was a stretch to conclude the fake news was specifically designed to pave the way for Sarah's succession. Filipinos, he said, aren't gullible. They are victims of sophisticated technology. Section 11. When they came for the journalists. The Arang Kagitingan accusations didn't stop at the photos. They reached the people who took them. Both the Malacañang Cameramen Association and the Presidential Photojournalist Association, or PPA, issued formal statements on April 11. The PPA pushed back specifically against the recycled photos claim. Their own bylines, their own timestamps, their own physical presence at the event were now being weaponized as evidence of a cover-up. The Malacañang Press Corps followed on April 12, strongly denying that its members were complicit in hiding the president's health condition. 3 separate press organizations, 3 separate statements, all within 48 hours. That's the full scope of what this operation was trying to do. The goal was to make people distrust every institution that could correct the record. The doctors lied. The palace lied. The journalists lied. The cameras lied. When you kill trust in every source, the lie fills the vacuum. Section 12. Good luck sa kanya. On April 9, at the Arang Kagitingan commemoration in Davao City, reporters asked VP Sara Duterte about the online rumors surrounding Marcos' health. She smiled. Good luck sa kanya. She moved on. According to GMA Network, Claire Castro called it irresponsible. Her quote, "An idle mind is the devil's playground. Makikita natin sa kanya, is that a last laugh mentality or mockery of misery?" Sarah didn't lie. She didn't spread a fake document. She didn't post a fabricated CT scan. She said 2 words and smiled. But those 2 words traveled faster than any fact check. They confirmed what 3 months of fake news had been building. Something is being hidden, and even the vice president knows it. The fake news didn't need Sarah to say anything specific. It just needed her not to deny it. Section 13. What we still don't know. The NBI identified who uploaded the fake medical document. They have not identified who created it. No one knows who runs Mal News Pilipinas, whether the January wave, the February wave, and the April surge were one connected operation or 3 separate ones that fed on each other. The PCO asserts coordination, but has released no evidence to the public. The cyber libel cases against Sonza and Celes have been filed. Whether they will prosper in court is a separate question entirely. And the most uncomfortable one, if the original document had never circulated, would Roque's colostomy claim have gotten traction? Would Guanzon's security post have been read the way it was? Would Sarah's smile have landed the way it did. The truth gave the lie somewhere to hide. That's the part no fact check can fix. And that wraps up this episode of Morning Coffee Thoughts. This was voiced using AI, created for listeners who prefer audio while going about their day. If this made you think, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you on the next one.